Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! It's a floater, out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop's glove!
Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2.
Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, two-run shot to right.
And we welcome you to the Joe Barth Field, one of the most famous venues in South Jersey, for a battle that has stood the test of time. Around this time yesterday, we said in the open that it all comes down to this. And the same is true today, but for a different set of players, a different set of coaches, and on a different set of conditions. As we've got the South Jersey Non-Public B Championship between the Bishop Eustace Crusaders and the Gloucester Catholic Rams. Two teams that are certainly no stranger to each other, considering that they played in the South Jersey Non-Public Championship last year. Jack Mastero walked off the Crusaders with a walk-off double in the bottom of the 7th inning. And meanwhile today, Gloucester Catholic looks to continue their great run going into Veterans Park on Friday night. They'll be starting Jude Morgan on the hill for Gloucester Catholic. Meanwhile, Bishop Eustace brings out their right-hander, Eamon McDermott, after they threw Dan Pasalacqua in the semifinals in a 9-3 win versus Doan Academy, which featured a Max Sullivan grand slam after Doan put up 2 runs in the top of the 1st inning. Meanwhile, for Gloucester Catholic, as we said, 22-3. They drilled Ranney where it hurt, 12-3 at Rutgers Camden on the day of their own commencement to bring them to where they are now. A chance to defend the home turf again and chase a three-peat in South Jersey Non-Public B and chase a three-peat up in Hamilton as well. We'll be right back with starting lineups and first pitch here on a muggy but rather enjoyable Friday afternoon. We hope you're enjoying your weekend with us here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting for what could be our last game of the year for 2025 before we head over into our summer content. Umpires and coaches just broke up for home plate ground rules, and we'll be back in just a moment. Jude Morgan is on the hill for Gloucester Catholic in a day that we couldn't have asked any better for. The right-hander coming into this one with 38 innings and just 2 earned runs, leading to a superb ERA of 0.37. He comes into this one 5 walks, 37 Ks. As Dante Bell will lead off the party here in Brooklawn this afternoon. The crowd filing in right off of Route 130 as we're getting ready for a spectacular 7 innings in deja vu from 2024. With fans packing the stands and packing the sidelines, we've got a first pitch strike and we're underway. Bell, the leadoff man for Eustace, manning the 6th slot in the scorecard at shortstop today. Inside. I mean, this is exactly what Gloucester Catholic wanted after a great performance by Jackson Smallets on Tuesday versus Ranney, or check that versus Wednesday. There's a line drive, foul. And it's 1-2. Eustace coming into this game in a very good situation as the 2 seed, 22-6, 10-2 in the Olympic National. Lost in the quarterfinal round of the Diamond Classic to Delsey, but including the playoffs, have won 9 straight. 1-2 in the dirt. Two balls, 2 strikes to Bell. Bishop Eustace beat St. Rose 2-1 in the first round of the tournament. And then they knocked off Doan Academy 9-3. Three balls, 2 strikes to Dante Bell with Roman Fiola on deck. There's a ground ball out towards short. 1 hop to Danza. Throw across the diamond is in time as Mastero brings it down. And we've got 1 away. We're going to take a look at the Bishop Eustace starting lineup for today's game, brought to you by Harper Driving School. For the Bishop Eustace Crusaders, led by the winningest head coach in South Jersey history, Sam Tropiano, it's Roman Fiola in left field, J.J. McLaughlin at third, Dante Matarese in center, Max Sullivan, who hit the Grand Slam versus Doan, he bats 5th at second base, Mason Rosenberg at first, Gabe Yates behind the dish, Franco Iannone in right, and Gabe Rogers is the DH with Eamon McDermott on the hill. Ball missed low that time to the lefty Iannone. Fiola. Still getting settled in here. Here's a fly ball, right field. This one's got some distance to it in the very pitcher-friendly ballpark. And it's caught in right by Guy Lynham. 2 away here for McLaughlin. So again, in the 3 spot, here's J.J. McLaughlin, the third baseman. First pitch from Morgan is a strike. McLaughlin, a junior, clocking in at 5'6", 160 pounds. Batting .325 in his junior season, 26 for 80, 18 RBIs, and 2 long balls. 17 walks, too. And a .475 slugging percentage have made McLaughlin a perfect fit for the 3 slot in the order. Ground ball hit out to Danza again. He boots it and it goes into center field. Pankos picks it up, and that will be the first base runner for Eustace as Noah Danza, the Auburn commit, runs into trouble and now sets up shop for the 4-man in the order, Dante Matarese. Matarese, 23 RBIs. He's got 3 home runs this year, .284 hitter. Eustace as a team doing very well, batting .300 with a .421 slugging percentage as a team. I mean, that's just the perfect combination that you want, a .300 hitting team and a 2.37 ERA on the mound. They'll be throwing Eamon McDermott, who's got a 1.78 mark this season. 1-0 to Matarese. He checked. They're going to appeal, and they say no. It's 2-0. That was close there, even from somebody who's 370-ish feet away from the action. Not easy to determine that one, with Morgan still looking to work hard here and get out of the inning unscathed after the E6. Decent lead off of first by McLaughlin. Change up. That'll miss, and it's 3-0. If you remember, the Eustace GC final last year was a 2-1 final score. So if you want to put it in those terms, Eustace wants to get scoring early because with both pitchers being as dialed in as we hope they will be, it's going to create an environment that won't allow for much hitting. First of all, the grass is really tall here. It probably wouldn't be anywhere else but GC, but you saw when that ball got by Danza, Pancoast actually had to jog up to the ball, and the ball didn't come to him. Count's going to be 3-1 here to the lefty Matarese. In the 5 slot, Max Sullivan, who went yard of the grand variety versus Doan on Tuesday, bats next. That's down. We must have the count wrong or something. I mean, we can't see the scoreboard here, so we're going to figure it out as we go. Process of elimination, right? That scoreboard is in an odd spot, if you ask me. It's in a very interesting position. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. That one's lined. It'll go into right field. It's a base hit. Lynham's going to pick it up. He's got to throw. Here comes the throw to third. It is wide. Runner gets in safely, and Dante Matarese. That ball was no joke. Off the center of the bat, got a good barrel and lined it into right. He got a base hit, and now Sullivan's got a chance to shine again out of the 5 slot. Well, a little bit of a slow start, but now Eustace, an error and a base hit now off of Jude Morgan, a player who's only allowed, again, 2 earned runs in 38 innings this year. Now sets up a really good situation for Sullivan. They throw to third, and he's safe. Bit of an odd position there. You don't see that move very often, regardless of whether you're a left-hander or a right-hander. Morgan keeping a bit of a wild card down there and keeping everybody in check. Here at Brooklawn at Joe Barth Field, 84 degrees today, mostly cloudy at first pitch. Wind blowing in from right field with gusts of 16 miles per hour. So a pitcher-friendly park has gotten even friendlier for McDermott and Morgan this afternoon. That one's fouled back off the apparatus, and it's 0-1. And this is the complete opposite of Bishop Eustace's field. I mean, we were there on, I think the last time we were at Eustace's field was May 24th versus Cherry Hill West in an Olympic Conference makeup game. That one's outside, 1-1. But that field also has a bit of a geographical limit with the fact that it borders Route 70. It's either 70 or 73, I can't remember, but it's one of those 3 nightmare roads, but it's 1-1. Only 310 feet to right field. This one's down the right field line. Here it's 328 down the right field line with a quick jut out to right center. And at its deepest, with no temporary fencing here, it's actually 467 feet to center field. Those of you that remember Minute Maid Park in Houston when they had Tal's Hill, that was only 436. And Tiger Stadium, when it had the flagpole in center field, that was only 440. So that just kind of puts into perspective how deep this ballpark is, combined with the fact that you've got deep power alleys and tall grass. Might not even see an inside the park home run here. That's a swing and a miss. He got him. Sullivan goes down on strikes, and Morgan strikes him out to retire the side. Crusaders leave 2 on, and the Rams will come to bat in the bottom of the first inning here in Brooklawn. Eamon McDermott, the pitcher for Bishop Eustace this afternoon. We'll take a look at his stat line for today. Comes into this matchup with 43 and a third innings pitched. You've got 11 earned runs, 21 walks, and then he'll follow that up with a 1.78 ERA, 90 Ks for McDermott. He is setting himself up well for a very good future career at Georgetown, home of the Hoyas. Let's take a look at the Gloucester Catholic starting lineup presented to you by Harper Driving School. Leading off will be Guy Lynham. He was the DH on Wednesday. 2 days later, he's in right field. Jason Bogart's at second. Braden Lipoff, the East Carolina commit, is behind the plate. Jack Mastero is at first. Brody Gates in left field. Noah Danza at short. He picked up an error in the top of the first inning. Henry Pancoast is the center fielder. The freshman, Mikey Angelo, is at third. And Gavin Franchetti is the DH, hitting for the pitcher, Morgan. McDermott versus Lynham. 2 Division I bouts going toe-to-toe. Lynham was the designated hitter and the leadoff man in Wednesday's win over Ranney, 12-3. Lynham the commit to Auburn. I got it messed up. Danza is committed to Virginia. Lynham is committed to Auburn. Something about those navy blue and orange schools. UTSA is another one. Oh, that's a hot shot. It's out towards second. It goes into center field for a base hit. It'll be picked up by Matarese, and Guy Lynham wastes no time. Just a couple of pitches in, he gets a base hit. And he sets the stage now for the two-man Jason Bogart. Gloucester Catholic 22-3 after their semifinal win over Ranney. Their 3 losses came to Cherokee in the semifinal round, or the quarterfinal round of the Diamond Classic. They also lost to the Stony Brook School of New York. And their third loss came versus Clearview in a 2-1 walk-off just a few weeks ago. That one's a bunt. It'll go to first. He'll flip it. Here comes the play. They'll say he's out, and it's a successful, I think that's a 3 unassisted sacrifice there, because I think that Rosenberg made the tag himself. And that would make it a 3 unassisted, as now Lynham chucks over to second base, and now the batter is Braden Lipoff. Lipoff, the transfer from Kingsway, coming into this one, and he takes it high and in. 1-0 here. So Lynham got a base hit, right back up the middle, and then sending him over to second was Bogart. Here's the pitch. Looked like a slider that time, caught the zone, and it's 1-1. Eustace left 2 runners on in the top of the first inning after Max Sullivan struck out to end the frame. That one is down. Lipoff, 4 home runs this year, 19 walks, and a .472 batting average. 28 RBI. He's only 8 hits away from 100 as a junior. He picked up 23 as a freshman, 35 as a sophomore, and then 34 as a junior in 2025, and counting, depending on how far Gloucester Catholic makes it today and Friday. That one misses. 3-1. Again, this is the one venue where I keep my mouth shut about balls and strikes, because not only are we far away, we're also at a very odd angle. So I usually, if maybe safer out, I might say something, but I think those of you that know my commentary style know that when I am not right on top of the plate, I don't say a word about balls and strikes. He does catch the zone that time. It's 3-2. Lipoff to be followed by the first baseman, Jack Mastero. His older brother in the crowd this afternoon. He's somewhere up there, RJ Mastero, where his RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners are coming off of their 3rd straight JUCO National Championship in NJSIAA Division III play. They beat Century College. As there's a ground ball Over towards short. It picked up. Throw to first is in time. Rosenberg's got it. There's 2 away. It does move Lynham to third, but now Mistero runs into a little bit of an oddball situation. Runner on third, 2 outs. Got to get a base hit to get the runner home. There's a lot of folks in attendance here this afternoon, including an Audubon cap somewhere in the crowd. Or no, that's not an Audubon cap, that is. First pitch missed, 1-0. Shalleck beat Audubon in the South Jersey Group 1 final yesterday, 4-3. Luke Pokrovsky struck out 13 in the win. Two outs, runner on third, 1-0 to Mistero. Outside. I've said it before, Mistero is probably one of the most pure athletes that I've seen ever play any kind of sport. I feel like he can pick up almost anything and be successful. He didn't play football this year, but we saw him play as a junior, and he was phenomenal. Probably one of the smoothest basketball players and smoothest sharpshooters I've seen out of South Jersey. And then not to mention the fact that he's a phenomenal baseball player. I would argue that basketball could be his #1 if he really wanted to do it. But his from conversations I've had with him, conversations I've had with RJ, that he is a baseball guy through and through. It's a 3-0 to Mistero. Got a strike there, 3-1, right above the knees. Gloucester Catholic 9-1 in the Tri-County Royal Division. Their lone divisional loss came to Clearview in a road game versus the Pioneers. Here's the pitch. Oh, he got that one way up and away. Inning over. Mistero chases one up and far, far away to retire the side. McDermott picks up a K and leaves the runner on third. So breath takers for both sides, and it ends with goose eggs. No score after 1. Top of the second inning. First pitch to Rosenberg. There's a strike. 0-1. 6, 7, and 8 for Sam Tropiano, Mason Rosenberg, Gabe Yates, and Franco Iannone. 0-1. Popped up. Shallow left. Who's got this one? It is caught in left by Brody Gates for out number 1. Sam Tropiano and Dennis Barth, 2 of the winningest head coaches in South Jersey history. Sam Tropiano with over 700, with long, long stints at St. Augustine and Bishop Eustace. Dennis Barth recently reaching the 600th win versus Holy Cross in the first round of the playoffs. Missed up and in, 1-1. But Barth with 600 career wins, all as a member of Gloucester Catholic, returning to the team after the 2020 COVID year. He is one of 6 coaches in South Jersey history to reach the 600 win mark. And the pitch to Yates is a strike. Morgan delivers. Ground ball, second base side. It is picked up on an easy hop to Bogart, and he got him. 2 away. So Rosenberg with a fly out to left, and then Yates grounding out 4-3. This will now bring up Iannone. Morgan delivers low, 1-0. But Tropiano and Barth joining a very exclusive club. Rich Horan, who was a former assistant at Gloucester Catholic, started his head coaching career in 1992 with Audubon, and is still there 33 years later. Russ Spicer, who had stints at a number of different places, including Cinnaminson and Haddonfield. And I think even he might have been up at St. Augustine as well. I'm not sure, but Russ Spicer's been pretty much everywhere. And then Rich Bender of Delran and Lee Ware of Woodstown, who retired in 2014. Have all been integral parts of South Jersey baseball. There's a swing and a miss. It's 2-2. If the inning continues, Rogers, the DH, would be next, but not too much of a threat here in the top of the second as Morgan finally looking to settle in. That one is way high, 3-2. And I think that's where Braden Lipoff's good frame and his tall frame comes in. He's 6'4". If Lipoff, first of all, if they had runners on base, it's a very short backstop here. If you're standing behind the plate, you're almost on top of it, and it can create some really weird ricochets. And for Lipoff, if he doesn't pick up the ball, what if it hits off of one of the metal posts? What if it takes a ricochet? Regardless of whether you've got a large backstop like Burlington Township or Cumberland, or if you've got a small backstop like GC, or you could argue even Rutgers-Camden, you know, it depends. That's a line drive. Ooh, a nice pick by Bogart. Throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. Bogart, a little bit off kilter, gets the play done. And through an inning and a half, it is Eustace and GC, just like last year, scoreless. And Argabright with a full count. Outfielders in communication for the Quakers. Everyone's looking around in a tie game, bottom of the 6th. The 3-2 payoff. Ground ball. It's going to get over the head of Tolbert into left field. That's a base hit. 2-run score. Argabright delivers when asked. 5-3. Alex Argabright has given the Golden Eagles a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Jack Mastero, 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a single. Looking to play hero. He's going to line this one into right center field, and that's going to drop. That's going to do it if they don't get a throw down. Mastero's going to second, and Danza's coming home. Sectional champions, Gloucester Catholic. They do it in a walk-off fashion as GC with Mastero playing hero. An unbelievable
Speaking of Shalleck and Audubon from yesterday, we want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in yesterday. That game became the third game in Dan Wilkins Broadcasting history to be a member of the 3,000 Views Club. Shocking that we've already had 3 games reach that mark, but the first to do it was Washington Township and Washington Township and Cherry Hill East football from last October. And then 2025 in February was our second one, Woodbury and Pittman. All playoff games. The playoffs bring the heat, that's for sure. 1-0 to Brody Gates, 5, 6, and 7 for Gloucester Catholic in the bottom half of the second. Gates, Danza, and Pancoast. McDermott ready, delivers. That one is up and in. Gates having to duck and cover a little bit. Gates, the 6', 170 senior, batting .340 in his lone season with Gloucester Catholic. Also a member of boys basketball for Coach Doc and the GC boys basketball team. 16 RBIs, 18 for 53, and 1 homer. Got on top of it, grounds it to first. Rosenberg boots it. Tip to first, goes off the glove of McDermott. Falling down, and Gates is in. I think he hurt himself there. Gates kind of lost his footing. He kind of had the rug pulled out from underneath him that time. And he's going to try to walk it off. It's not easy falling in that manner, but it's even worse falling in the manner of hitting on the grass. I'm sorry, on the dirt. He's going to try to run it out a little bit. The batter is Danza. A 6'2" junior, again committed to Virginia. .321 hitter this season, 2 home runs, 18 RBIs, 26 for 81. It looks like he's going to be okay, and that's always something that you want to see. McDermott ready to go. Here's the pitch. He's going to show bunt. Now they'll back pick to first, and it's not in time. Again, that's just another situation where if you're a catcher who knows how to do that, that will play to your advantage. And in that case, I would argue that Yates has more than enough qualifications to pull off that move. That's a ground ball out towards short. It's picked up for 1. On to first. It's a one-hopper to Bell, not in time. Rosenberg had some trouble picking that one up as it looked like Bell kind of spiked it. That move would have worked on Tuesday at Rutgers Camden. However, it doesn't work today, and it'll be a 6 fielder's choice to now bring up Henry Pancoast. Throw back, not in time. McDermott ready. First pitch to Pancoast. Runner jumped off of first, but they don't throw, and it's 0-1. Pancoast to be followed by Mikey Angelo at third base. And then the 9-hitter Franchetti, the DH. Another throw over, not in time. Got a strike there. Again, right now in this point in time, second inning, nobody home, no runs across. Somebody should break the ice. That's where everybody's sitting right now. That one is hit into center field. Straight away for Matt Race, and he'll make the play. It's the second out of the inning. And Pancoast is retired to bring up the freshman, Angelo. Angelo, the only freshman in the lineup today for Gloucester Catholic, although he's been in the lineup every time we've covered GC this season, which has been 4 times now. We covered them in both ends of their season series versus Kingsway, April 2nd and April 28th, and then caught them again versus Ranney, and caught them now a 4th time today here versus Bishop Eustace, our second home game covering the Rams this year. No score, bottom of the second. 2 star-studded pitchers in Jude Morgan and Eamon McDermott duking it out. And here's the pitch. Didn't go that time. 1 ball, no strikes. And a good crowd on hand as well, not just of Gloucester Catholic representatives, but of Bishop Eustace representatives as well. I mean, listen, I love a non-public final, or I love any kind of playoff game that's close by. You know, I think about the fact that New Jersey decides to include the Toms River teams in the public brackets. So you get schools that never play anybody from South Jersey. They play in their own little cohort in the Shore Conference, and they don't really play anybody else. But yet the South Jersey Group 3 final was 2 teams that aren't really South Jersey, Toms River East and Toms River South. I have no disrespect towards those teams, but, you know, I understand why they do it. But then I look at Cinnaminson, a team that's – Cinnaminson and Pennsauken have to be about maybe 10 minutes away from each other on the 295/130 corridor. But Cinnaminson got chucked into Central Jersey Group 2 because they want an even number of teams, or they want to spread out equal number of teams in each playoff bracket. In non-public circles, it gets a little bit more complicated because we had St. John Vianney and Ranney teams up in Monmouth County, as that throw is going to be wide. He'll still second that time. But, I mean, we've got teams up in Monmouth County that aren't really – I mean, Union Catholic. If you told me that before I got into sports media that Union Catholic was considered South Jersey, I would have called you crazy. But because of how many, or lack thereof, Catholic schools and non-public preps there are in the state, they have that distinction. Here's the pitch to Pancoast. Runner goes. Now they're going to throw to third. They got him. He got a little bit too greedy that time. Noah Danza's pointing at the bag. He's pointing at something. I'm not sure what it is, but the inning is over. We're scoreless through 2 here on the cusp of Route 130. Eustace and GC looking for their first run. Top of the 3rd inning, this broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt, as there's a strike from Morgan, and it's 0-1. If you like those odds, you could book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. Morgan ready to go. Here's the 0-1. That one's high and away. 9-1-2 For Eustace in the top of the third, Rogers, Bell, and Fiola. Also, if you're a small business owner interested in advertising with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, all commercials you see on this broadcast today are filmed, edited, recorded, and produced by our wonderful crew. All funds go towards college expenses, travel costs, and equipment expenses for bringing this broadcast live and free to you through YouTube. If you'd like to become a sponsor of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, you can send us an email with an inquiry at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. That's also in the description of this YouTube video. And we'll send you a flyer with information on how to get involved in front of South Jersey's fastest growing independent broadcast organization with over 100,000 annual viewers. That's a strike call to Rogers. Count's full. Again, just over 80 degrees here today at GC. A little bit muggier today than usual, but a very hustling and bustling crowd here throughout this great ballpark. That's a dribbler out towards Bogart. He has gotten so many plays today. Mastero got a little bit wound up, but he does get Rogers retired. And that's the first out of the third. We go to the top of the card now for Dante Bell. He grounded out softly to short his first time. Also, even if you're not a small business owner, like we said, we are not being paid for today's broadcast. We do this for our respective resumes and for the love of the game. We have a Venmo at DW Broadcasting, no spaces, no hyphens, if you'd like to contribute to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Again, all funds go towards travel costs, equipment expenses, and of course my college fund. I'm a rising sophomore at Rowan College of South Jersey, Gloucester, and we do our best to bring you the best product that we can provide in South Jersey, right to your living room, right to your phone, wherever you can be. It is incredibly appreciated. Here's the 1-0. But of course not required by any means. I don't want to look like I'm begging for money, but it is always appreciated. Bell, 0 for 1. He'll be followed by Fiola with 2 scoreless frames in the books as that one skips in, and it's 2-1. Yeah, a lot of plays for Jason Bogart today. He has registered 4 ground outs of the 4-3 variety. That ball missed a little bit low. We'll see if Morgan can bring it up this time. The 2-1, he did bring it up, and he brought it too far up. And it's 3-1. Bishop Eustace, no runs on 1 hit with 1 error in the field. Gloucester Catholic with, again at this point in the third, no runs. Looks like on our card they also have 1 hit, and they have 1 error as well. There's a ground ball, third base side. Throw by Angelo is in time, and Bell is retired. You know, I was going to say something about the folks that were just walking across the field during live play, but I guess the ballpark's deep enough that they don't really have to worry about it. The explanation I was given oh so long ago of why Gloucester Catholic does not have a temporary fence was because of the softball team, which has their practice and game field right over here, right in front of one of the middle schools. But, I mean, you could see there's people sitting out in the grass. They've got some lawn chairs up there. Like, that is all technically, for what it's worth, in play. This one's popped up and foul down the left field line, but for what it's worth, I mean, we talk about weird fields. This field was so weird, it was actually featured in a national chart for some of the weirdest fields in the United States. There's somebody we've worked with before, David Horofsky, who went to Bowling Green, and he has been collecting the weirdest fields in all of the U.S., and when he stopped around Jersey, we actually had a lot of great conversations, as this one's a fly ball. Center field, Pancoast goes over, and he's got it. Side retired. We'll pick up where we left off in the bottom of the third inning. We've still got no score here in Brooklawn.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month, It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Mikey Angelo leads us off in the bottom of the third inning. This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy today with the most organic food products available in South Jersey, along with toys, cages, accessories, and much, much more. You can visit today 7 days a week at 226 South White Horse Pike in Audubon. 0-1 is to count to Angelo. 8-9-1. Angelo followed by the DH Franchetti and the leadoff man Guy Lynham in the bottom of the third for GC. In a scoreless game, Eustace didn't get too much going in the third. And Gloucester Catholic will look to take advantage of that. Here's the pitch. 1-1 that time. Every time I think of the name Mikey Angelo, I think of that might have been what they called the painter Michelangelo when he was a young child. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Although one of the greatest of all time, I would say. I mean, you don't get your work put in the Sistine Chapel for nothing. So, Mikey Angelo, who knows? It's a shame he's not a pitcher so he could paint the corners. Just saying. McDermott ready to go. Here's the 1-2. He works from the stretch with the bases empty. And he hits that one foul. That's a little bit interesting right there. It looked like he had a bit of a truncated delivery and there's nobody on base. One ball, two strikes. McDermott ready. Here's the pitch. Oh, that one trailed up and in. A little bit of chin music that time. And it's 2-2. Angelo had his at-bat started in the bottom of the second inning, but it was ended when Danza got picked off at third. Angelo, 270 hitter, 17 for 63, 6 RBIs and 11 walks, 6 stolen bases, and a .317 slugging percentage. As that one's again hit foul. That one almost hit an ambulance out there. Heading towards Browning Lane. If you take that road, it'll take you a little bit deeper into Gloucester City. I had a lot of family growing up in Gloucester, and they call it Title Town out here for how much Gloucester Catholic has won, 21 state championships. Not to mention Gloucester City's athletic success as well. But Gloucester Catholic and Bishop Eustace, again, it feels like a rivalry that has stood the test of time even through generations. Everybody knows of Eustace and GC, two South Jersey powerhouses that pretty much excel in almost every sport. He got him. Angelo down on strikes, and there's one away. Now we go to the 9-hitter Gavin Franchetti, DH for GC tonight. Franchetti takes the first pitch strike. It's 0-1. Again, this game is looking like it's going to be exactly like last year. Almost no offense. It's just tried and true because both pitchers are just so good. Swing and a miss. Got him way low that time. It's 0-2. Franchetti, just 16 at-bats this year. He's 4 for 16. He does have a home run, which was on his opening day versus Washington Township. The 0-2. High. Franchetti ducked down a little bit that time. Franchetti will be followed by Lynham. Lynham singled in the first inning but did not come around to score. With the reality that nobody has come around to score in this juncture of the ball game. One, two. Right down the pipe, he got him. Back-to-back Ks. For Eamon McDermott, he's got 3. And we now turn it back over to the top for Guy Lynham, the right fielder. Remember, regardless of who wins today, they'll play the winner in North Jersey, non-public B. McDermott ready to go. Here's the pitch. Missed away, 1-0. The matchup in non-public North Jersey B is versus Montclair, Kimberly, and Pope John. Pope John is the 6th seed. Actually got a really good way into it. Pretty much everybody got a bye. Pope John beat St. Mary Rutherford. Montclair Kimberly beat Newark Academy in the quarterfinal round. Montclair Kimberly beat St. Thomas Aquinas 2-0, and then Pope John knocked off the 2 seed Morristown Beard 6-3. So now you've got a 1 versus a 6. That game is ongoing currently at Montclair Kimberly. And the winner plays the winner of this game. Three balls, no strikes to Lynham. He will walk. 4-pitch walk there for McDermott. Looked like a handful of them were close. It's his first walk of the day. Batter is Bogart. A lot of plays in the field, I'll tell you that much. For what it's worth, I mean, he had a 3 unassisted sacrifice his first time. And again, he deals with a runner on first. Right now, we don't have any update on the Montclair Kimberly Pope John game. If I find one, I'll let you know, but I feel like I follow every reporter in the book and just nobody's there. There's a strike. Got a lot of media here today, though, in the South Jersey scene. Kevin Minnick's behind home plate for NJ.com. He's hanging out somewhere in the mix there. Up top, our good friends from Jersey Sports Zone, and then of D2 Sports Network, Colin Conway. And then somebody else is sitting on the roof as well. Missed that time. Again, Bogart dealing with a runner on first. He's got 2 away, back-to-back Ks from Angelo and Franchetti for McDermott. He's got 3 total today. Looking to settle in. McDermott looking to keep this game scoreless as well through 3 innings. 2 outs, runner jumps, and he'll hold. Strike called at 1-2. First 3 for Eustace in the top of the 4th will be McLaughlin, Matarese, and Sullivan. Cream of the crop right there, 3, 4, and 5. Runner goes. He pokes this one into right field. Great piece of hitting by Bogart. Iannone is there, taking a hard turn and a sharp arc to third base. Guy Lynham gets in there. It's a base hit for Jason Bogart, as the second baseman pokes one into right. As the junior gets the job done, 2 strikes. I mean, he just kind of flicked the bat at the ball and he made contact. You can't complain about that. It's the second hit of the day for GC. Now Braden Lipoff is the batter. I don't think that this course of events, though, is any cause for alarm for Gloucester, for Bishop Eustace. I don't think that what's going on right now is any problem. I think if they score, then you're going to go from nothing to a 5-alarm fire just because of how difficult it's going to be to score off of Jude Morgan. 0.37 ERA. It could very well be whoever scores first just wins this game. We saw that with Kingsway and GC in late April. Gloucester Catholic, it took them 7 innings to do it, but they won it 1-0. And here's the pitch. Fouled back at 1-1. But these are 2 of the best. Both teams coming into this matchup with exactly 22 wins. Eustace 22-6, Gloucester Catholic 22-3. Somebody's losing their marbles over there. If my field mic can pick that up, that's pretty far out. McDermott ready. Runners on the corners. Runner goes. Bogart. Yates gets a good jump. Throw down. There will be no throw down, and Gloucester Catholic puts themselves even further in business here with a stolen base. Uncontested, too. So Lynham on third. Jason Bogart, the junior, on second. And a hitter's count. 2-1 to Lipoff. Better chance than ever to get the party started with the Georgetown commit. Gets into his windup and delivers. Lipoff late, and he laces that one foul. No score in the bottom of the third. If you're just joining us, GC and Eustace have had a couple hits. A walk and a single, a quick 2-out rally for the Rams in the bottom of the third. And a lot of commotion. The 2-2. Line drive. That'll be through the middle. That's a base hit. Lynham's going to come in. Here comes the throw. Bogart's coming around. He is safe at home. 2-run double. Braden Lipoff back up the middle. And the East Carolina commit swings his way into a GC 2-0 lead. Well, we've seen some great pieces of hitting here in this inning, and that's how GC got on the board. Just perfect right there. I mean, Bogart keeps the inning alive with a 2-out flick of the wrist after back-to-back Ks by McDermott. And now they get themselves in a really good situation here. Not only are they up 2-0, you've got a guy on the hill who has only allowed maybe 3 earned runs all season. 0.37 ERA. That number, pops out at you. It's an outstanding number. And 3 straight runners. First of all, after back-to-back looking strikeouts to Angelo and Franchetti, needless to say that they were the 8 and 9 hitters, but that's not to say that in this lineup that they are pushovers by any means. They're not. But Lynham walked, Bogart singled, and then both of them came around on the 2-run single by Braden Lipoff. Here's the pitch. That one's low. It skips away, and he'll get into third now. Well, I'll tell you this, on one swing alone, Gloucester Catholic has already scored as many runs as they did in last year's non-public B final. The 2-1 win on a walk-off double by Jack Mastero, who is the batter. And it's 2-0 count. Could be a really good 1-2 punch here. McDermott again looking to find his footing here. 2-0. Swing and a miss. Mastero nearly swung out of his shoes. He was very early that time, 2-1. I mean, one of the things that gives Gloucester Catholic such a home field advantage is you can see McDermott's almost throwing from a flat ground mound right there. I mean, that mound is so... You would think that they were supposed to put a mound there and they forgot. I've seen Kingsway, I've seen Rutgers, Camden. Those fields all have relatively tall mounds. Eustace is right around the middle. But those home pitchers are used to throwing from this mound. The visiting pitchers, they're not. And we've got a 3-1 count here. Swing and a miss. Excuse me, a 2-2 and a swing and a miss. Got him. Inning over. McDermott strikes out 3, but sandwiched in between that was a 2-run single by Braden Lipoff. The Rams strike first and go into the 4th. It's 2-0. Top of the 4th inning, it's time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, former longtime Celtics point guard and current NBA executive with the Utah Jazz, Danny Ainge, spent 3 seasons with which MLB team in the early 80s? That's a fly ball to center field. Pancoast has it. The options are A, the Boston Red Sox, B, the New York Yankees, C, the Toronto Blue Jays, or D, the Baltimore Orioles. The answer will be revealed in the bottom of the 4th inning. I thought for our audience today that we had a very easy question yesterday, and I said, you know what, I'm tired of making easy questions. We've got a dedicated viewership base here. Let's spice it up a little bit. McLaughlin flew out to center to start the inning. It's Matter East now. He's singled. in his first at-bat. That one's fouled back off of the very low-hanging netting, and it's 1-1. This one's flied again out to center field. Deja vu for Henry Pancoast, and he comes in and makes the catch. 2 away now, quickly in the top of the 4th. Well, these last couple of plays, and of course the bottom of the 3rd inning, have now given Jude Morgan the cushion that he needed to succeed. By the way, 3 straight flyouts to center, so Pancoast has had his work cut out for him, but just really interesting to see how this has transpired. It's 1-0 here. Wind picking up a little bit. The clouds rolling over as well, cooling us off a little bit. Morgan ready, the 1-0. Fouled it back. 1-1 here. I think the biggest thing you can ask for Bishop Eustace is a 2-out base hit. Just something to get the ball rolling, because they've only got 1 hit today, and it was the base hit by Matarese. So if the one guy can start the offensive power, can he expand upon it? And not only that, you have to think about the fact that you're playing 7 innings today. At the college level, these players are going to have to, turn their game plan and turn their, their mental clock on a cycle. As this one's hitting the right center field, Matarese does it. He's 2 for 2. It'll be picked up. He'll go to second base. Let's take a look. He is safe. It's a double for Dante Matarese. Max Sullivan, excuse me. Max Sullivan pokes a double in the right center field. Now here is Rosenberg, the first baseman. Rosenberg flew out to left his first time. Rosenberg and then Yates, they fake a throw back to second. I think the biggest, again, even though I had the wrong guy, this is exactly what Bishop Eustace wanted. Something, good contact. Even if they only get 1 run this inning, something will be better than nothing. And any kind of positive thing there. He throws back again. It's the second time in a row he's kind of just flailed his arm out there and hasn't actually thrown the ball, but he'll step back in. (1-0). That one misses to Rosenberg. Two 2-0 GC in the top of the 4th. He'll step off again. It's the 3rd time now that he stepped off. Looking for some kind of remedy here. Eustace trying to get on the board in the top of the 4th. Here's the pitch. That one's a strike. 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Morgan looks back at second. He's thrown over there 3 times, and now time is called. Ooh. He's got to let go of the baseball there. In that situation, when time is called, it is not healthy for your arm not to follow through with that motion. We saw that before at one of our Trenton Thunder games this year, but it's you see it with Chris Sale all the time. He'll have time called in the middle of his windup, and he'll just chuck a ball, and sometimes it'll clear the netting behind the plate. But it's healthier to do that and, look a little bit foolish than to hurt your arm. I mean, again, I think that there was already a pitcher for Don Bosco this year that had to have Tommy John surgery. I do ask the question sometimes to people, what worth does it have to have 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids having a very almost destructive Tommy John surgery when there's no guarantee that not only will they go professional, that they'll even have a successful career in college? It's a swing and a foul tip. It's 2-2. I mean, Tommy John surgery, this is the irony about Tommy John surgery. The man who it was named after, Tommy John, mostly pitched in the 60s and 70s, but he never threw as hard as 95% of these modern pitchers are today. He threw hard, that's for sure, but I mean, he played from 1963, I apologize, to 1989, as there's a swing and a miss. He had 26 years in the big leagues. We'll pick up on that in the bottom of the fourth inning as Eustace goes down. They get a double, but nothing more as Morgan picks up his second strikeout of the night. We'll be right back. Bottom of the fourth inning here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. It's time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, longtime Celtics point guard and current NBA executive with the Utah Jazz, Danny Ainge, spent 3 seasons in Major League Baseball in the early 1980s with which team? A, the Boston Red Sox, B, the New York Yankees, C, the Toronto Blue Jays, or D, the Baltimore Orioles? Jake Steidler, our producer today, do you have a guess? What was that? Blue Jays, that would be correct. The Toronto Blue Jays were the home for Danny Ainge before he started up his NBA career. He averaged 7.7 points in his career, and he was a pretty notable point guard, more known for being a passer, but he's currently the CEO of the Utah Jazz organization. But he had 146 hits and a career .220 average with Toronto from 1979 to 1981. Didn't appear in any more than 87 games with the Blue Jays. Because when it comes to two-sport athletes, it's usually baseball and football because those seasons rarely overlap with each other. That's a little fly ball. Iannone's going to run in for it. It is dropped, and it's a foul ball. Sullivan and Iannone couldn't come up with that one, and it's out of play for Gates, and it's 0-2. But obviously the most famous examples of football and baseball would be Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders. You don't hear too much of basketball and baseball, maybe except for infamously Michael Jordan, but that was only 1 year, and I think honestly was a little bit more of a publicity stunt than people want to lead on. 5, 6, and 7 for GC. Gates, Danza, and Pancoast. That one's high. Gates with that crouched stance that we've become very familiar with. Helped him that time. And it's 1-2. McDermott base is empty, leading off the bottom of the fourth, trailing 2-zip. Here's the 1-2. That one's fouled back. Gates was behind and got a little bit jammed. Ainge had, 11.5 points in his career, to 2.7 rebounds, 4 assists. Spent 8 years with the Celtics in the 80s and also spent time with Sacramento, Portland, and Phoenix. Like I said, I wanted to get a little bit more on the difficult side for the DWB trivia time today. So whoever, I think somebody in the comments said C was the answer. Yes, Mr. Cohen, you would be correct. Misses, 2-2. But as always, a great crowd on hand here. GC regular season crowds are great. Playoff crowds where both teams are just so into it is so much better. It's an incredible atmosphere here. That one misses, 3-2. Mostly because I think the people who go to Catholic schools and people who are alumnus of Catholic schools have a little bit tighter of a connection to that program, to that school. I mean, obviously I have a very close connection with Audubon. But I think there's a lot of people who, they go to high school, they graduate, and if they're in a public school system, especially in a large public school, doesn't really hit home all that much. But Gloucester Catholic and Bishop Eustace both set in very small communities. As a fly ball in the left field. Straight away for Fiola, he makes the catch. One away. Gates, after a couple of long foul balls that time, now sets the stage for Danza with one away. But like, for example, my town, Audubon, where I grew up and where I've lived for the past 19 and a half years now, only has about 9,000 people. But you would think that the town was so much smaller with how many people you know and how many people you see on the street all the time. I mean, Pensauken's a small town for where Bishop Eustace is, but not everybody that goes to Gloucester Catholic is from Gloucester City. A lot of, we're not even in Gloucester City right now. We're in Brooklawn. Even though there isn't one specific small town that bonds these players together, I think it's a combination of the fact that a lot of them come from small town areas, and they all come from this very consolidated part of South Jersey that all make it so much more special for them in the non-public scene. As the 1-1. Strike called on the inside corner. Looked like a front door slider right there. McDermott's thrown a couple of those front door sliders or front door changeups that really seem to baffle the GC hitters, as that's a strikeout. He's got another one. That's 6. Check that 5 on the day, and that'll bring up Pancoast. But those front door sliders and front door breaking balls in general, especially when you're doing a righty on righty, that can be very dangerous, because if you have just a little bit too much zip on it, it can leave it out over the plate, and a front door curveball can get turned around like a bad solar salesman. I mean, it's very difficult to pinpoint that exactly. And the fact that McDermott can pinpoint it as well as he does, well, that's the reason why he's going to be headed to Georgetown after this season. Again, McDermott a 1.78 ERA. Eustace as a whole pitching a 2.37 ERA and batting .300 as a collective. The 1-0. Big swing and a miss. Pancoast wanted to turn that ball around real hard, but couldn't get it there. One ball, one strike, 2 outs, bases empty after a 2-run frame in the third. This one's popped way up there. Browning Lane, this could be headed for you. Iannone runs out of room, and in front of heavy traffic, it somehow misses everybody, players and cars alike. And it's 1-2. I would like to thank the Bishop Eustace parents for holding a parking spot for us today, because, well, we got here an hour and 20 minutes. This is the first time ever I've gotten here an hour and a half before first pitch and still couldn't find a parking spot. That is how, first of all, how small this field is, and also how small the parking situation is here. Ground ball to Sullivan. He's got it. The throw to first is in time. Side retired. We're through 4. After a 2-run frame in the third, Eustace turns around and has a clean frame with a fly out, a strikeout, and tapper to second. Eustace has their final 9 outs on the docket. What can they do with them? We go to the 5th, 2-0. Welcome back in the top of the 5th. This broadcast is brought to you by DAWG Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. You can visit today for more information, as this one is fouled back. It's 0-1. You can visit today online for more information on future events at dawgprowrestling.com. 2-0 Gloucester Catholic in the top of the 5th inning of the South Jersey Non-Public B final. GC scored 2 runs in the bottom of the third on the 2-run single by Braden Lipoff. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 for the Crusaders as that one hit them. They're going to say it hit them. Immediately, Gloucester Catholic's coming out, and they're going to try to mediate. Or no, I think that they're saying that he leaned into it. I think, well, because Sam Tropiano's coming out, he's not happy about the call. Unfortunately, we can't hear anything back there, but they're going to call him back into the box. So I think that they're going to say that they will not, they are not going to grant him that. Count will be 1-1 here. Outside. Again, if I was behind home plate, I think I would have a better opinion on it, better stance on it, but it's Yates, Iannone, and Rogers, 7, 8, and 9. Here's the pitch. That one is away. 3-1 here. That is a 5-pitch walk, so even though he was denied the hit by pitch, he does get a 5-pitch walk after a first pitch strike. And Bishop Eustace with a little bit of life here facing Iannone. Iannone, the right fielder, grounded out to second in his only at-bat today. Bogart racing in. And, oh, he... oh, no. Oh, boy, that... Jason Bogart just... I think he was trying to move up to force a pickoff move. I don't think that fall was intentional. I can tell when somebody intentionally falls, you know, kind of like out of a comedy skit or something, but... I mean, I think he just caught the lip of the grass. There's a ground ball, third base side. It's a fair ball. No, it is a fair ball, but they did get him. They move the runner over. And it gets him down to second base. So in what is an incredibly unusual at-bat, Iannone grounds out to third. That ball just stayed inside the line. And Yates advances to second, one away. Jake Rogers, the batter. Gabe Rogers, excuse me. Thinking of somebody else. Got one out, runner on second. Eustace looking to get on the board. 2-0 here. Two balls, no strikes. Morgan again dealing with a runner on second base. Here's the pitch. Fastball right down the pipe. Got a strike there, 2-1. Morgan today only has 2 strikeouts. Had one to end the 4th versus Rosenberg. As after the walk by Yates, he advanced to second on the ground out. That one misses outside. I mean, they don't need to score by hitting the ball. Right now, they're on cruise control. If they don't swing and Jude Morgan continues to miss the strike zone, could really be a telling sign for Bishop Eustace. I think plate discipline could win this game if Bishop Eustace plays their cards right. They've got still 8 outs on the board, and that is ball 4. 2 runners on, and the tying run is on as what seemed like an easy task on paper, 7, 8, and 9, is now met with a pitching visit here after 2 walks and a ground out. Here's the thing, though. When you're at Gloucester Catholic, that standard is set so high that I don't think that this leash is going to be very long for Jude Morgan at all. I didn't see anybody warming up in the pen. And now with 2 on, the tying run is on, and Dante Bell is the batter. If I'm a pitcher who's a little bit razzled right now, 2 walks in an inning, 1 out, and the tying run is on, I don't want to face Dante Bell. In fact, I don't want to face maybe 6 or 7 of these hitters right now. Well, the umpire's coming out to break this up. I've never understood that. Why is the umpire just standing there? I mean, the job of the umpire in a mound visit situation is to break up a mound visit. It's not to talk about your weekend plans. The umpire's job is to make sure that the mound visit is moving along and we stay with the pace of play. But far too often I see too many umpires who are afraid to interject themselves in the situation. And, of course, I don't know what they're saying, but sometimes I'm behind the plate. I've got a microphone right there that picks up everything that they're saying, and the umpire doesn't say anything. He just stands there as if his presence alone is supposed to move along the mound visit. They got to speak up. They got to say something. But Morgan breaks from the mound visit, and we've got 2 on with 1 away. Bell, fly ball, left field. It's up there. Running in for it is Gates. He'll make the catch. 2 away here in the 5th. Well, that was a little bit easy, though. First pitch fly out. I would have liked to see, if you're a Bishop Eustace fan, I would have liked to see Dante Bell hang on to that at-bat a little bit longer. Because the last thing that you want is to have Jude Morgan, the difference between him pitching the 6th or the 7th, be 1 pitch. And if I'm Bishop Eustace, I think that Sam Tropiano should be telling all their guys to take, because it's obvious that his control has been a little bit off. That one's inside. In the 1st or 2nd inning, if you're seeing him for the first time, I can kind of excuse it. But in this situation, it's the 5th inning of a championship game for the section, and you don't know really what he's got left. The way that Dante Bell saw Jude Morgan in the 1st inning is very different from how he's going to see him in the 5th with 2 walks under his belt. So swinging at the first pitch off of a mound visit, you're not really seeing the full array. You're not really seeing what he has to offer. I mean, right now he's got a 1-1 count, but if Bell had waited a little bit longer, he could have gotten a little bit of a better at bat, a little bit of better results. That's just my take on it. One count. There's a ground ball, third base side. It's picked up. Throw to first is going to be in time, and the inning is over. 2 runners left on for Bishop Eustace as 2 walks end up yielding no runs. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's GC 2, Eustace 0. Bottom of the 5th inning, Gloucester Catholic held Eustace scoreless in the top half of the 5th. Got a 6-3 ground out to end the frame as McDermott still rocking and rolling for the Crusaders in the bottom half. We're getting into crunch time territory here. I mean, you know, we don't really mention it, but Eustace is down to their last 6 outs, and, well, GC could maybe only hit twice from here on out. I mean, I've covered so many high school games, but I'm a little bit disillusioned by all the NCAA and JUCO games that I've done that are all 9 innings. I don't mind high school baseball being 7 innings. I think that it forces pitchers and batters to be a lot more constructed and a little bit more poised in their work. Because by having 2 less innings to work with, first of all, it makes it a lot easier for load management for pitchers. You know, McDermott could go all 6, even if Eustace loses, and Morgan could go all 7. You know, like, they don't even need to call to the bullpen. But that, of course, is not a problem when you have so many pitchers on your roster. I mean, that dugout, both the Eustace and GC dugouts are packed. You put any more people in that dugout and it's a fire hazard. But we talk about what it means to be a good program, and we talk about having depth. Well, some programs don't have depth, and it's not their fault. Sometimes their school is just small enough to where they don't have that choice. There's a strike called there. Eustace batted 5. They walked 2, but then a fly out to left and a 6-3 ground out by Fiola ended the inning. Angelo, Franchetti, and Lynham, 8-9-1 for GC, are the batters here in the frame. Three balls, 1 strike to Angelo with McDermott still rolling. Don't see anybody warming up in either bullpen at the moment. Fouled back, and it's going to land right in the netting. It's 3-2. There it is. How did it get there? Some folks sitting up in the second level of that GC kind of press box, if you will. Our good friend Bill Gore up there. At least I think he is. I'm not sure, but he's a good friend of ours with DWB. He's the person who got us this game, along with, of course, Dennis Barth and Ryan Murphy. That one is away. Angelo walks. And now Franchetti is the batter with a leadoff walk to Angelo. Throw back to first, not in time. Iannone's got his hands up there. It was the walk-up music running for Gloucester Catholic's batter. And then they tried to throw over to first. I don't think anybody was ready. Franchetti's going to try to bunt. And here's the pitch. He pulls back. Strike call. Franchetti looking at his belt with the instructions delivered from the third base coach. We'll see if he sticks in the bunt formation this time. Runner goes. Throw down is not in time. Stolen base for Angelo. And he does get in there safely. So, and at this point in time, Gloucester Catholic, every base runner that they advance makes that window a little bit smaller for GC. I'm sorry, for Eustace, because 2-0 game, bottom of the fifth inning. Eustace now down to their final 6 outs, and they don't have any runs on the board. Well, if Eustace is going to get their offensive load started, it's got to be now. And you start by knocking them out in the inning prior. Of course, we can't time travel over here, but that goes without saying. The more layman's term of what I'm trying to say is that Bishop Eustace has already had plenty of chances to get on the board, but Jude Morgan has shut them down. They've got to make up for it now, basically. They can't allow any runs here if they want to win this game. Now, of course, anything can happen. They can be down 9-0 and they can still win this game. I mean, this is baseball. Baseball is a game that is never truly over until it's over. 21 outs have to be recorded on both sides tonight. And that's the beauty of the game. It's not like football where you can have a running clock and you can just go home early. Can't do that here. There's strike 3. He got him. Another good breaking ball. Retires Franchetti. He tried to bunt to start the at-bat. His second attempt was no better, and we'll turn the lineup card back over to Guy Lynham. We're waiting to hear on if we need a broadcast for Monday. If we do, if we get a broadcast for Monday, we'll keep all of you updated in the state semifinal round. Our next confirmed broadcast is Tuesday, June 10th. We have our second game with the Tri-County Baseball Summer League, where we travel over to the Belmar Athletic Complex and the Belmar Rec Center for a 7 o'clock matchup in the South Division of the Tri-County League between the Gartons of Vineland and the Belmar Rough Riders. First pitch at 7 p.m. 1 ball, no strikes. Fouled back. That one skipped out there. One ball, one strike, and one away in a 2-run game in the bottom of the 5th inning. The batter is, again, the leadoff man, Lynham. He's reached base twice tonight. A single to lead off the fireworks in the first, and then a walk in the third. He eventually came around to score on a 2-run single by Braden Lipoff. Here's the pitch. That one skips away. Runner will get to third. Angelo gets in there standing. And again, the shallow backstop here, even though it is a very shallow backstop, Gloucester Catholic knows what they're doing. And they've played on this home field enough to where they know when it's safe to go, when they have to hold up. If this was two neutral teams playing here, I'm sure that it would be a little bit different. But Gloucester Catholic knows when they can be aggressive. That one missed outside. It's 3-1. Just off the corner that time. GC's dugout trying to get back into it. Again, the only offensive input from either team was in the bottom of the third. And that has been the difference maker today. Otherwise, this will be almost an exact repeat of last year's final between Eustace and GC. A 2-1 final in favor of the Rams. That's a free pass. It's the second walk to Lynham this inning. I'm sorry, second walk to Lynham in total. It's the second walk this inning for McDermott. You wonder if Eustace is going to send Tropiano or one of their assistants out there to talk to him. Because if you do talk to him and you restore his confidence a little bit, I think he might be in a better situation. But there's some pitchers where mound visits don't do anything. They kind of have to run on their own platform. They have to run on their own sort of clock. Because if they've got a coach in their ear, if they've got other people in their ear, they just want to be themselves. A little bit of police activity sounds like as we're rolling through here. Bottom of the fifth, one away. Runners in the corners. Mikey Angelo on third. Again, the Auburn commit, Guy Lynham, is at first after drawing his second walk of the game. Here's the first pitch from McDermott. Showing bunt, Bogart tips it foul down the first base line towards Rosenberg. This broadcast is brought to you by Rowan College of South Jersey at Gloucester and the Roadrunners campus. Winners on the field and winners in the classroom. Become a Roadrunners prospective athlete today by visiting their website, rcroadrunners.com, or follow them on all of their social media platforms at RC Roadrunners. They just came off of their third straight national title for JUCO baseball in Division III. They beat Century College 16-1 in the championship game to win it all. Runner goes, catcher pump fakes the throw. Now it's two runners in scoring position here. Well, that was kind of one of the last saving graces in this inning for Eustace. Not to say that things can't turn around, but a double play ball would have been really nice, especially with Bogart. He's not really a guy that hits a lot of line drives. I mean, he had a sacrifice bunt in the first, and if you remember that single from the third that allowed the two-run single to be set up by Lipoff, if you remember, that was just like that one. Base hit. Bogart center field. Matarese has it. The throw to the plate is not in time. They held the runner at third. It's an RBI single for Jason Bogart. He's 2 for 2, and it's 3-0 Gloucester Catholic. Again, that was almost predictable of what I just said. He doesn't swing the ball. He doesn't swing the bat that hard. He just hits it. That time it was a bloop single to center field. He didn't do too much with it, but he didn't need to. He knows how this field plays. He knows how the conditions are. He just had that ball plop down in the grass, and now he's got an RBI single that makes it 3-0. Angelo scores. Lynham is now at third, moving up 90 feet, and it's Lipoff again, who's already got 2 RBIs today. He gets a strike called. It's 0-1. Three 0 GC with their first run since the third and the only offensive input today. McDermott still rolling. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Again, they're just not going to throw it down. I don't think that they want to risk it. But with only one out, the last 3 of the first 4 batters to hit this inning have reached base. Angelo walked, Franchetti struck out looking, and now Bishop Eustace's infield gets put on high alert. All 4 infielders now on the edge of the grass. Here at Joe Barth Field, they'll be ready for a sharp grounder or something of the like from Braden Lipoff, the East Carolina commit. He bloops this one. Will it stay up? It will for Dante Bell. So even though the infielders were moved in, they were able to backpedal quick enough to deny Lipoff another RBI. Here is Mistero. Big opportunity for Jack here in the bottom of the 5th inning. After the pop-up to short, got 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position with Bogart and Lynham. That one misses 1-0. From McDermott. Swing and a miss. Big hack by Mistero. Even though I say that's a big swing, that's a pretty pedestrian swing for Jack Mistero. He just kind of does that every time. And a lot of times it produces good results. Like that. Line drive in the left field. There's a base hit. 1 run comes around. Bogart's on his horse. He's coming home. The throw's going to beat him. And it's not in time. He couldn't get the tag down. That's a 2-run base hit for Jack Mistero. And it's now a 5-0 Gloucester Catholic lead. They won with heroics last year. They may win with just pure fundamentals in 2025. As a 2-run knock after Mistero's 2 strikeouts extend GC's lead to 5. And Gates is the batter. As again, now a pitcher and catcher conference between Yates and McDermott. Great inning here for GC. They've scored 3 now as Mistero lined it through the 5-6 gap in left center. Got it out to Fiola, who tried to get a throw down, couldn't get it home. The batter is Gates. McDermott delivers. Big swing and a miss that time. Next batter would be Danza if the inning continues. 2 away, 3 runs across. Outside. Two outs, 3 runs across, runner on third. There's a swing and a miss. And I don't... All right, so I don't know if anybody knew what the count was that time, and the inning is over. Even Nate McDermott was running on a different flight pattern that time. GC scores 3. Eustace down to their last 6 outs. What do they have in the tank is the question. It's 5-0.
Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball at the center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2.
First pitch trailed inside to start the top of the 6th. Gloucester Catholic got home 3 runs in the bottom half. After getting 7 men to the plate. It's Fiola, McLaughlin, and Matarese in the top of the 6th as Morgan, who had a rocky 5th, now looking to turn the tide in the 6th. With this still being a starting pitcher's duel, but with a 5-run lead for Gloucester Catholic, you're curious how much longer it will be. Fly ball, Lynham judges it. He's got a straightaway move in right, and he makes the catch. 1 away. And so McLaughlin is retired. It'll be Matarese and then Sullivan. Matarese 1 for 2. He's got a single and a fly out to center. We'll say for what it's worth, I mean, they've been seeing Morgan well enough to hit the ball into the outfield, just not well enough to actually do much with it. There's a strike called to Matarese, and it's 0-1. Oh, 1 from Morgan, working fast. That one skips way low. That foul ball from Angelo is still up there at the stuck in the netting back behind home plate from a couple innings ago. 1-1. This ball's crushed. Right field. It's way back there. And it's over his head. Lynham misjudged it. Now he's going to have a chance for 3. He's going to get up there. Here comes the throw. He is safe. Triple for Dante Matarese. And if that ball just didn't die in the grass, it would have been a chance for an inside the Parker. But Matarese cracked a ball to right field that probably would have been on Route 70 back home. It's a 3-bagger, and Bishop Eustace all of a sudden is 90 feet away from scoring their first run. And that's another reason why this grass should be mowed here. I mean, I don't think there's any reason why, with all the space that you have, that you don't mow the grass, or at least you don't mow it. I mean, the grass might actually be shorter outside of the field than it is on the field. That would have been an inside the park home run for Matarese if that ball had skipped a little bit more. You saw it. It just plopped in the grass. And I'm not saying that to be for or against anybody. I think most people have figured out by now that I'm an independent observer. I have no skin in the game here. I didn't go to Eustace. I didn't go to GC. I don't have any alliances to either of them. But the point is that it's just not really a baseball thing. It's not, I mean, I have never seen a baseball field with this high of grass for a program that is this top tier. Not to mention the fact that there's no temporary fence. Like I said, somebody can explain to me again the reason why they don't have one, but I just still think it's so odd. That one's down. Gloucester Catholic winning back-to-back state championships in 2023 and 2024. Winning via mercy rule the last time they did so at Veterans Park in Hamilton. Fouled back. Five 0 Gloucester Catholic over Bishop Eustace in the top of the 6th inning. A 1-out triple by Dante Matarese, and now the count is 2-2 to Max Sullivan, who had a grand slam in Eustace's 9-3 win over Dowen. There's a swing and a miss. He got him. And there's 2 away for Rosenberg. Morgan just with 3 strikeouts this afternoon. This could be a good matchup here, though, with Rosenberg. I mean, he's got a lefty at the dish, runner on third, bloop single puts Eustace on the board and gives people something to talk about in the top of the 6th. But Gloucester Catholic scored 3 runs on 7 batters in the bottom of the 5th inning, and they look for more insurance in the 6th. with 2 outs. And again, Matarese on third with Eustace is easily their best hit of the day. Ooh, that's a strike called as well. Two outs, runner on. Eustace still off the board here in the top of the 6th inning. In a 5-0 game here at the home of the Rams at Joe Barth Field. Here's the pitch. Outside. Morgan tried to get a little bit too much on it that time. And again, still with where we are today, Eustace has a lot of work to do in just 4 outs. Misses in. Morgan ready to go. Fly ball foul. With 2 strikes on him, he keeps going, he keeps pushing. And Rosenberg not going to make the 3rd out easy for anybody. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to the first baseman Rosenberg as Eustace looks to get on the board and GC looks to keep them off of it. Here's the pitch. He got him! Strike 3. Rosenberg chased at a changeup low, and the inning is over. Eustace gets their biggest break yet with a triple by Dante Matarese, but then just gets broken with a strikeout. Back-to-back. Sullivan and Rosenberg go down. It's 5 strikeouts for Jude Morgan. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Could be last swings for Gloucester Catholic. We'll have to see what they've got in the store. It's 5-0.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Gloucester Catholic has had a good day. They're up 5-0 as, well, I mean, I don't know if you can ask for a better path to a sectional title. They beat Holy Cross 11-0 in 6 innings in the first round. Then they knocked off Ranney in the semifinals 12-3. McDermott is still pitching. No. I just caught that. We are 350 feet away. Cole Williams is the pitcher. You turn a 99 into a 66 and things happen. But Williams, the right-hander, caught that as I was saying it. Curveball, good pitch there. So McDermott, though, again, I mean, they do have pretty similar windups, but I was concerned about how how much longer he was going to stay into the game with this deficit. The right-hander committed to Army West Point with the 1-1. One's outside. I'm not too familiar with Army's baseball team in the Division I circuit, but Williams, either way, looking to join them after his 2025 campaign, as that one is low. Williams, a junior, so I guess he'll have to join them in 2027, but either way. He's got a 0.54 ERA, 13 innings, 10 walks, and 25 Ks. So he'll try to be this shutdown figure for Eustace here in this one. There's a swing and a miss. Danza was down on strikes that time. He struck out for the second time today, and now the batter's Pancoast. First pitch from Williams. Always have a lot of respect for those players who choose not only to further their athletic career, but to also serve our country, and Williams will be one of them. I believe there was a player on another team that is committed to the Marine Academy that also apparently has a baseball program. I think it was the Marines up in Massachusetts. But either way, though, Army West Point in New York. Would be cool to have like an Army-Navy baseball series. There may already be one in existence, I'm not sure, but Air Force has a baseball team as well. It's a little bit easier to schedule multiple games as opposed to football where you only have the one Army-Navy game a year, and then even then, a little bit hard to come by in terms of availability for anything else. Like Navy and Air Force don't play each other. Army and Air Force don't play. That's ball 4 to Pancoast, who now reaches base for the first time today. And then, of course, in addition to that, you've also got, of course, there's the Coast Guard, there's the Marines. Coast Guards don't really have any athletic teams, though. And the brand new, not exactly brand new, but the Space Force, the 6th branch. Runner goes. Here comes the throw down to second. It is in time. They got him. So Pancoast gets retired at second, and that is the second out of the inning. So made pretty quick work there. As the batter is Angelo, gets a strike, and it's 0-2. Here's the pitch. That one is down. For Eustace, what could be their potentially final swings in the 7th if they don't score 5, it will be 7, 8, and 9. Yates, Iannone, and Rogers, who have reached base a combined 2 times in this one. Fouled back. Got a good ringer on that one. Gloucester Catholic scored 2 runs on a Braden Lipoff 2-run knock in the 3rd. They added on 3 more in the 5th on a single by Jason Bogart and then a 2-run single by Jack Mastero. So all 3 hits that have yielded RBIs have all been singles. The count's now 2-2 with, again, even with the game being where it is, a lot of fans still lining sidelines and the outfield and home plate, looking to see who gets crowned, as that one is a foul ball. Who will become the champion? Will it be GC for who knows how many years now? And will Bishop Eustace be able to beat Gloucester Catholic for the first time since 2023 in a Diamond Classic semifinal? Here's the pitch. That'll miss. It'll be 3-2. So after an 0-2 start to the at-bat, the freshman Angelo now finding himself back to square one versus Williams, the second pitcher today for Bishop Eustace. We were talking about Dan Pasalacqua, Delaware commit, who started on Tuesday in Eustace's 9-3 win over Doan Academy. Ground ball, hot shot to short. Bell is there. Throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. Gloucester Catholic is now 3 outs away from a sectional championship, and Bishop Eustace will have their 7, 8, and 9 guys ready to go as we go to the top of the 7th, 5-0. as Bell is the batter with 2 away. Mestero looks over. Line drive in the left by Bell. It's going to get down. It's fair, and it's booted and left by Gates. Bell will take a hard stop and land it first with a single, and it moves the runner over. So now everybody's back going again. And now Bell with a single, Iannone to third. And now it's the lefty Fiola. One-0. Mestero, the 6'2", 195 senior. 0.25 ERA on the hill this year in 27 innings. There's a strike, 1-1, just above the knees. Again, as we said, Pope John is currently winning their North Jersey sectional final game versus Montclair Kimberly. However, that game is stuck in a lightning delay at the moment. Ground ball, out to second. It goes into center field, and Eustace has a run. It's 5-1. Late comeback here, RBI single by Roman Fiola. And they get their first run of the final. It's 5-1 here, so back-to-back hits. Bell to second, and now it's J.J. McLaughlin. I'm getting vibes of Salem and RCSJ Gloucester from a couple of weeks ago in the JUCO tournament. Now it'll be pitcher and catcher Lipoff and Mestero meeting here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. But this is going to be a good game either way. I mean, right now we're in a situation where Bishop Eustace can just hit and hit and hit, and they're finally starting to get that spark, but who knows? Who knows indeed? Winner will be headed to Veterans Park in Hamilton on Friday night. Non-public finals will be, non-public state finals will be played on Friday. Public state finals, all 4 of them will be played on Saturday. Again at the Central Neutral site in Hamilton. That one is low. 2 balls, no strikes. Two balls, no strikes. 2 runners on for Eustace. Fiola on first, Bell on second. The pitch to McLaughlin. Ooh, strike called there, 2-1. McLaughlin 0 for 3. He's reached on an error in the first and has had 2 flyouts after that. McLaughlin, the junior, 3-1 is a strike, and it's now 3-2. The junior hitting in the 3 spot for a young and lively Bishop Eustace team. Eamon McDermott led the way, and now we've got 2 on. The 3-2 pitch, foul, and we stay alive. McLaughlin, a .325 hitter this year, 2 home runs. 26 for 80. He's got 18 RBI, 29 in his career, had 11 as a sophomore. And win or lose today, he'll have 1 more campaign in the black and white in 2026. The left-hander, Mestero, with the payoff pitch. Strike 3 called, and Gloucester Catholic throws the gloves in the air in celebration as the man who walked it off this time last year is on the mound for the final pitch. GC wins it 5-1. And they are South Jersey non-public B champions with a ticket punched to Veterans Park. And Bishop Eustace goes down looking to end this one. They get a late rally, but unable to finish as the final score is 5-1. Jude Morgan, your player of the game, 5 strikeouts over 6 innings. Mestero ended the job as some great offense from Gloucester Catholic was all that they needed. And the ball game ends just like that. The crowd disperses momentarily, and we'll be right back for the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting post-game show presented by DAWG Pro Wrestling. We'll talk to Jude Morgan, and we'll sign off for potentially the last time in the 2025 baseball season. Here with the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting postgame show presented by DAWG Pro Wrestling. Jude Morgan, 4 strikeouts across 6 innings of work. You guys got the job done a little bit easier than last year. Last year you guys beat Bishop Eustace 2-1 in a walk-off fashion. This year, a little bit easier for you. First of all, how'd you feel out there today?
It was a little tough. I started off not throwing a lot of strikes, so my arm was kind of bothering me a little bit, but I got the job done and just battled through a bunch of tough spots, but that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, even though the score 5-1 doesn't really reflect the outing that you had. I mean, there were a couple of times you had a couple walks in the 5th inning, and then your defense got you out of it. And a lot of fly balls hit today. It was definitely interesting. You know, throwing from that GC mound, it's almost like throwing from a flat mound. We talked to Jackson Smalis about it on Wednesday. The fact that he was throwing from the Camden mound, the Camden turf mound, was so much different than throwing at home. Did it feel better for you to be throwing at home instead of, I mean, obviously when you got to go to Hamilton on Thursday, it's not going to be easy, but now that you're back at home, does it feel good to win a championship back at home?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, this is our 3rd year in a row, and three-peat would be pretty cool to do. So, I mean, maybe we can even get 4 next year, so we'll see what happens.
Who knows? You've got a great core for it right now. I mean, a decent amount of juniors in the lineup. It's not like it's entirely senior heavy. You guys have a good core out there. And even have the freshman, Mikey Angelo, who's doing good at 3rd base this year. With this being a three-peat for Gloucester Catholic in terms of South Jersey non-public B titles, what does it mean to your team to just be the team that everybody should fear? Because there's teams that some fear and some don't, but if you can ask any head coach in South Jersey, any player in South Jersey, what team they don't want to play, it's Gloucester Catholic. How does it feel to have that kind of mentality on your program?
I mean, it's great. I mean, it feels a lot more fun to play in these games. All the teams want to beat us. Everyone hates us, but it's great. I love that. I mean, it makes it way more fun to play.
And for you guys, what is your mindset and I guess you could say, how do you feel going into Thursday's state final? We are waiting on a result from Pope John, Montclair, Kimberly. They were in a lightning delay when our game ended, but Pope John's up in that one. Regardless of who you play on Thursday, how do you and your team feel about Thursday's final?
I mean, we feel pretty good. I mean, we got Jackson back on the mound, who's our ace, so we should be set up pretty good. Everyone's healthy, so shouldn't be any problems.
Hopefully it isn't for you guys. We'll represent South Jersey. Thank you very much, Jude Morgan. We're going to do our little DWB tradition that you did just a few weeks ago on DWB versus Kingsway. We're going to have you sign the bottom of the scorecard, make it nice and big there on the bottom, as this could be very much our final baseball game of the year. We're waiting to hear back from our folks about Monday, but there you go. Jude Morgan, 4 strikeouts and 6 frames. All right, now, I hate to keep you waiting. Keep celebrating with your teammates.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that'll be all for us tonight here on DWB. A Gatorade-soaked Jude Morgan just talked to us after 6 innings of work. Really great game for Gloucester Catholic. Bishop Eustace was in it until the very end and got that one run back in the top of the 7th inning to get themselves in contention. But Jack Mastero, who walked off this game in this very field this time last year, he was the one who ended it on his own accord with a strikeout, looking to J.J. McLaughlin to end the threat. Like we said, this could be our last baseball game of the year. If it is, it's our 39th. And I think that 39 games in a baseball season is pretty darn impressive. I just wanted to say, if we don't get a game for Monday, we're waiting to hear back from our folks at a site that I can't say yet for a state semifinal. But if we do pick up a game, it'll be announced on Saturday or Sunday. If we do not have a game, I want to say thank you to everybody who joined us for the 2025 baseball season. We have gone so far this year. Our producers have done such an excellent job. We've had some excellent color commentators and play-by-play commentators and great talents like Chris Baker and Jake Clark calling games, David Cohen as well. There's so much ahead for us at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, and I think that a nice work full of summer or a summer's full of work will prepare us for a very intense football season in the fall of 2025. So that'll be all for us on DWB this afternoon as Gloucester Catholic continues to defend their title on their home field at the famous Joe Barth Field here in Brooklawn. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator Haley Mejia, our graphics crew Caleb Lane and Carson Rosso, my producer Jake Steidler, I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you maybe Monday, if not Tuesday at the Belmar Rec Center, Vineland, and the Rough Riders in Tri-County Summer League action. Have a good one, folks.